But the truth is that almost every avenue from which we get our information in the mainstream media is controlled by only 6 corporations that have one specific interest: profit.
Profit.
News censorship is happening every day, but not necessarily from the top down blacking out the stories, but also in the form of self-censorship, framing, backpaging, all to protect the interests of those corporate conglomerates.
It's a media-opoly, a media-opoly. The whole media is controlled by a few corporations thanks to deregulation by the FCC.
You mean Disney, Fox, Westinghouse, and good old GE?
They own networks from CBS to CNBC.
General Electric and NBC is a perfect example. How can we be sure we're going to get the kind of information we need to have about the nuclear industry, about defense contracts, and all of those things when NBC is beholden to this parent company? Why would they report on that? Of course they wouldn't. Why would ABC report on what's going on at Disney? They wouldn't. There's no point in it. And it's precisely for that reason that those companies want to own television stations in the first place, so that they can keep a check on those sorts of things.
I think what you have is a corporate media which by definition has conflicts of interest, right? Comcast owns NBC. It's probably one of the most attested companies in the country. Disney is a co-owner. They're paying their workers in Disney World $8 or $9 an hour, bringing in people from around the world to replace American workers. These are issues, the important issues that they don't want to discuss.
But on network TV, you rarely hear anything bad about the nuclear industry.
Like when Westinghouse was sued for fraud?
Which time?
When GE made defective bolts, it was an unreported crime. Or when it was boycotted for operating nuclear bomb plants just to squeeze a dime.
That's a footnote, by the way.
A footnote protects you from folks who doubt what you say. Now maybe the voices in my head will go away.
I said, you know, this is news. This is important. This is stuff people need to know. And I'll never forget, he didn't pause a beat, and he said, we just paid $3 billion for these television stations. We'll tell you what the news is. The news is what we say it is.
Back in 1998, kind of a very clear-cut example, ABC was 2020, they were going to air this story about how Disneyland is actually hiring pedophiles. I mean, it's just a crazy story. You're thinking a theme park for kids, and pedophiles just sounds terrible. They weren't able to pull the story. Why? Because Disney owns ABC. It's very clear-cut. You don't want to endanger or make the corporate interests look bad.
The thing that is most amazing to me is the lying that goes on today. You are now teaching, I'm not making this up, we are teaching damage control and spin. I remember in this country we used to call spin lying. Now we call it spin, and we study it and we admire it. How to put out a line of bull and have it fly for more than 24 hours, and then they high-five each other because they beat the other side if it's another party or it's another candidate.
Lately, we've been talking about the Daily Beast as a symbol of the establishment's great disdain for Bernie Sanders. What? Us attack Bernie Sanders? Us be part of the establishment? Oh, I do declare we would never do such a thing. Really? Let's find out. Here are some titles. Back in 2014, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders likely to flop against Hillary in Iowa. Black Twitter turns on Bernie Sanders.
Real socialist thinks Bernie sellout. Bernie's socialist dreamland is BS. Bernie Sanders collapses under fire on guns. Bernie's dilemma, go negative or go home. Their single-payer healthcare plan failed in Vermont. Bernie Sanders isn't electable, and here's why. Bernie's passed with the far, far, far left. One of my favorites, what kind of Jew is Bernie Sanders? The veteran scandal on Bernie Sanders' watch. Is there a libertarian case for Bernie Sanders? Ha! Bernie Sanders loves this $1 trillion war machine. Stephen Colbert grills Bernie Sanders. Isn't this class warfare? Bernie Sanders' big problem with black Democrats. Can South Carolina forgive Bernie's gun record? Dear Bernie fans, a vote for him is a vote for Donald Trump. Did Hillary Clinton just finish Bernie Sanders off? This is the day Bernie Sanders burns out. How Hillary can out-Bernie Bernie. Okay, I know I'm exhausted. I've got more. South Carolina black voters not feeling the burn when Bernie Sanders thought Castro and the Sandinistas could teach America a lesson. The much-hyped Bernie Sanders economy is a bust.
So the Daily Beast is owned by a company called IAC, Interactive Corp. They're a media company. And when you check out their website and look at who's on their board of directors, you'll see a very familiar name. Chelsea Clinton. Now, she's the director of IAC, which owns the Daily Beast. I wonder if there's a conflict of interest there. So she's on the board of directors of a company that owns the Daily Beast, who is pushing these talking points straight from the Hillary Clinton campaign, because who is it that has been pushing this electability myth about Bernie Sanders?
But the big shots don't care. They're all sitting pretty thanks to corporate welfare.
What's that now?
They get billions in subsidies from the government. It's supposed to create jobs, but that's not how it's spent. They use tax and soft money to support congressmen who will vote for weapons programs again and again and let them dump toxic waste where the young ones play.
ING made the bullets that shot JFK.
You contribute to this chain every time you buy a product sponsored on this show.
Profit.
That's what NBC doesn't want you to know. So the next time, please stand by, please stand by. In business technical difficulty, supposedly. So if you see a please stand by, you know it's all part of TV.